The following program is a presentation of Niagara's Vox Media. Opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Niagara's Vox or our sponsors. Any rebroadcast in whole or in part without the written consent of Niagara's Vox is a violation of copyright.
Happy Monday, Niagara Graffiti. There we go. We got sound.
Damn, that just doesn't sound the same as Happy Friday, man.
Yeah.
I'd rather hear Happy Friday.
It definitely don't. No, we couldn't hear the intro neither. Usually we hear the intro music and it just didn't pop off for us.
No, we're all good.
We're good to go. It's all good in the hood.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Niagara Graffiti. I am your host. As always, I am joined with my
My buddy and my co-host, Tim. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Yeah. It's definitely, you can tell there's a definite difference in Mondays.
Man, yes.
I was sitting at home, I was like, oh, we got to go do a podcast today, but
Yes.
I didn't plan anything for it.
Well,
Kind of, sort of.
it's all good, though. We're good to go, man. We're still us.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. It was a busy weekend.
Dude, it's snowing outside. Come on, man. What is that?
That's kind of, I expected that, though. I was going through my memories on Facebook Saturday, and it popped up to where it was snowing, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's gonna happen again.
Man.
Hey, what's going on, John? How you doing?
Ready to get the boat out and
Yeah, I was just
convertibles are already out. And
I was just
car
telling Jackson,
shows.
well, and that's the bad thing because a lot of them already pulled their cars out of the.
They
their
started to.
storage.
Yeah, we started to. Got to
this
get them
isn't-
tuned up and cleaned up and ready to go.
Yeah, and then flowers. I'm glad I didn't get out and start planting flowers yet. That was a good thing too. I think I planned on that.
Some of mine are coming up in front of my house. Those aren't flowers, though. Those are called fancy weeds at my house because I'm not a flower person. I'm a fancy weed kind of person, and I'll take the weed whacker to them every day of the week and not feel bad about it.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had at least an area out front that I could plant flowers. I'm gonna do something outside the window, some flower boxes or something.
What'd you guys do for Easter?
Nothing. Sat at home. The girls came over. Yeah, let the boys do their Easter baskets and just kind of sat around. How was everything with you? You went to Ohio.
I had a long road trip and got some bad news while I was there. I got to make a return trip on Wednesday. My cousin, 4 years older than me, died, had pneumonia, and had a bad time with it. And he's no longer with us, so I got to make a trip back. This is one of the family duties I got to do. But, life goes on. We still got to onward and upward, and it sucks. You got to, adjust how things are. But my, family's not a small one.
No.
But we definitely don't need to be losing anybody else. So.
And it's always tough, especially when they're that close in age. Kind of.
Yeah,
I don't know. It gets kind of weirded out for me.
Well, my other cousin was telling me that his mother's in hospice care right now, and I'm like, I'm getting back to New York because there in New York, I can survive getting hit by a fucking truck, and these guys are dropping from pneumonia, man.
That is
Get me back to New York.
That is definitely a New York state of mind when you can handle a big old truck running into you. Yeah, my Uncle Victor passed. Well, I didn't share anything about it on Facebook. It's just that time for some reason that people are dropping off like flies.
'Tis the season, man.
It is. And more so over it's been pushed at us, the numbers have been pushed at us every day for the last 2 years.
Right.
To see somebody even close, just something different is kind of just like, whoa.
Hey, wait a minute. That stuff still happens?
This stuff still happens. Wait a minute. The flu's still out there, pneumonia still out there. It still happens. But
Well, with bipolar Mother Nature out here throwing snow on us April 17th, yeah.
man, it's definitely a world
And it ain't
changing.
just a little bit of snow neither,
No,
man.
it
That's
came
some
down.
heavy ass shit.
Yeah, it came down. It was definitely coming down. I looked out the window. I was like, Christ Almighty! I took the bubbles back in.
I
I
hope
had the
my-
bubbles going and everything. And turned out it was blizzarding outside. I was like, Christ.
Hey, was your ears ringing over the weekend?
I
was talking about you.
And normally people do that. Normally.
I was telling people about they said, you should look and see if there's a couple of videos I've put up of this guy that just is a crazy guy, corner 7th and Pine, 3rd story of this building. He just nothing better to do than sit there and blow bubbles.
Hey, I sit there and I let them go by themselves. I don't even pay attention to them. If I notice that they're empty, they stop blowing, and I'll go fill it back up. Other than that, I like hearing kids yell when they pass by. The kids start screaming bubbles and stuff like that. It's always a good time.
A lot of people honking at that, are they?
Yeah, I get a lot of honks, and then usually get a smart ass comment. The horn blows, but I'll leave it alone.
I honk when I go by there. I like it. That's fun though. It's interesting.
Oh,
see
yeah.
See that thing I forwarded to you today. We talk about that. What happened over in Canada?
Yeah, and it happened. They do a lot over there. Hamilton has a big time about honoring Nikola Tesla. Niagara Falls, Ontario, just redid the entire their old power plant and redesigned it. Now it's a tourist thing that people can walk through.
They actually embrace their history and their culture. And
Yeah, and we do it in some fashions here, I guess. It's the Underground Railroad, the Underground Heritage Museum. But there's a lot. There's a lot of history, a lot of culture here.
Isn't there down in the gorge? I've seen pictures where you can look in the water and you can see part of one of the turbines in there.
Yeah, you can still see the turbines that are in there.
These guys took those turbines and they set them on display so people can go look at them, though.
Yeah.
And actually make it a tourist draw.
Well, and it even goes even further than just Niagara Falls. You can go up into Vancouver. Jesus. That was my Canadian accent, Peter. Eh?
Well, we got Councilman Miles on here. Maybe he could do some little bit of insider stuff for us to the council and say, hey, guys, let's embrace some of this stuff.
I have talked to all of them, and they all tell me the same thing. That I need to come in there and talk. And, and I will say something. Councilman Spanbauer messaged me after when we had our Sammy's Live event, and he messaged me a couple days ago, and he said that he made mention of moving walk-on presentations to the end of at least till after the public speakers for the agenda items, at least. It's only fair. You switched around the agenda to make it so the good of the community people have to speak at the end of the entire thing. But people that can do walk-ons can pop in, have their walk-on added, and talk for 45 minutes. And
make them wait even longer.
Dante, you know me, I don't come in there and write my name down on that shit. So unless I want to talk, and it's heartbreaking that I didn't get to talk. But I will come there and I'll talk.
Well, that's
about
okay
it.
Because we've got a bigger forum here to be able to get that voice out.
We do, and we're going to be doing that. And like I said, we are going to set up our own page. It's going to be Shake and Bake for 2024.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and set that up. We're not going to. We love what we do on here. We love to have the people that we have on. We're going to be doing some great things, with the maestro. What is Peter's nickname?
The Wizard of Vox.
Okay, the Wizard.
The
That'll
Wizard
work.
of Vox.
The Wizards. We're going to be out in the field. We're going to be doing some things. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And check us out on YouTube. I think we're streaming onto YouTube right now. I believe we are. Even if we aren't, we're going to go ahead and start loading all that up there.
We are.
And getting all that squared away. And then I'm going to start bothering Peter. I know he's going to get busy with tours coming up. I'm going to probably see if I can get Anthony to come in and work on the website, maybe get some...
Man, it's a family affair. You got another cousin that does some interesting stuff.
I do, my nephew.
You got Levick sisters. Are they still cooking?
I think that they will be. The thing is with the girls is their mother is she's an author, Angelina Wilson. She's also the founder of Speak Up and Live. And the girls, she's very, very big about their education. So if it's something that's going to pull away from the time of learning, it's not even worth it to her. She'd rather just let them be themselves.
But then you got your nephew Nick here that likes to repair electronics.
Yeah, my nephew, little Nick. He's been working on Xboxes, PlayStations, controllers, consoles. When he replenishes, he's 18. When he replenishes his supply, because like I said, when I went over there, he had a nice little setup, and he does get a lot of it. You know, he gets a lot of picks up some orders here and there.
Well, I'm going to read his ad that he put on Facebook.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says he's open for basic electronics, such as game controllers, Xbox consoles, and PlayStation 4s. Text his phone number for an appointment, which is 716-288-2409. He asks that you please wait patiently because he does have a job and works a lot, but he's going to be opening for iPhones and more sooner once he gets the supplies and the extra tools that he needs. That is Nick Levick at 716-288-2409. So if you got any of those Xbox controllers, consoles, PlayStations, all that good electronic stuff, don't trash it, repair it.
That's a hard-working little dude, because even when he was like 15, 14 maybe, he worked over at the can recycling thing right there on 11th at the car wash. He worked there. He went from there to the Cuomo. He was a dishwasher at the Cuomo up until...
Which isn't going anywhere, by the way.
No, and I'm glad to see that. I am really glad to see that they were able to take care of that.
Good business that's staying around.
Yeah, and then after that, he went from there. Now he works at Walgreens, and he had a picture not that long ago with him and a friend of ours, Mr. Laurie. You know, and that's a really good. It's good to see that the next cycle of children in my family aren't going to go through the same thing that I went through, and that they're because my generation caused a lot of problems. So that's definitely good to see that
some of your generation.
Well, some of us. Well, the only good kids in my generation, and I love all my cousins and my brothers and sisters, but my brother is like really the only good. My brother Michael's so kind-hearted, but we're gonna go ahead and we got any kind of wonderful visuals.
Well, before we go there, let me acknowledge some people that are in the Facebook chat.
Yes.
Got your Aunt Sherry's in here.
Hey, Aunt Sherry.
And she wants you to wave at her. Sean doesn't pay attention to the comments on
I got it open this time, though. I got it open this time. And wait, it's Niagara's Vox on YouTube.
Yeah. I'm Knucklehead.
Yeah.
For Niagara's Vox.
And
Kevin Hutchinson. I'm hanging in there, buddy. I'm still having quite a bit of pain doing physical therapy. I still got the way it's looking, month and a half of rehab. We got a call coming in here. Let's see. Let's take this call.
Uh-oh, interesting.
Thank you for calling Niagara Graffiti with Sean and Tim. Who's this?
My name is Bill Carroll.
Hey,
Mr. Carroll. How you doing, buddy?
How are you doing
What's
today,
this stuff on the ground out here?
Listen.
That is a gift from Mr. Bill Kennedy, who is an actor. He wanted to send some fake snow, but they were all out of it, so he sent the real stuff instead. He said, "You're welcome."
Well, let's be honest. Bill's been around since the Ice Age, so he knows exactly what's on the ground.
Yeah, he knows what it is.
How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm doing pretty good.
What's on your mind, buddy?
I just thought I'd call in. Sean and I were discussing what the parameters of this appointment, when the appointment becomes open, for the city council. And
Oh, well, you would know about that, seeing as you are the city Republican committee chairman, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right, let us have some of that knowledge.
I guess at the end of the day, it all becomes that the city charter says that the party that the person came out of is the party that can be replaced. The last two appointments over the last half dozen years that the council had to make occurred with Mr. Anderson's passing in, what was that, 2016?
15.
And 15 was it? And they appointed Ezra Scott, who had just been elected. He just hadn't been sworn in yet, so they swore him in. And he filled out that term. And then the second appointment was last year when Councilman Tuma decided to choose other career options, and he resigned, I believe it was the end of March. And they chose Frank Soda as his replacement.
Right.
Well, it'd be the same way when it happens in council, say, or Congress. Somebody wants to run for governor and they become governor. It has to be appointed by the same party because that's who the constituents voted for.
Correct. It's a basic same model.
Yeah.
It's the same model. So, in terms of the charter, now that, the question becomes, at what point does the term, can he fit, does the person come in and fill out the term, or is there a special election needed? And that really, the trigger point on that is actually the day the resume or letter of resignation is tendered.
Yeah.
And what would be that date? Do you know right off the top of your head?
Well, if it's tendered, the date that the appointee would then complete the term is 90 days prior to election date. So I think that makes it something like August 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the election would be in November, so it would be go back, 3 months. Okay.
Yeah, so if it were 90 days prior, if it goes to the 89th day, and I'm just using this, I don't have a calendar in front of me, but, figuratively, then that person would complete the term that Mr. Spanbauer was elected for, which would be December 31st, 2023.
Right.
Okay, so it'll be right up until I'm ready to run.
I beg your pardon, come again?
I said it'll be run right up until I'm ready to run then, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Shake and bake. Shake and bake.
There'll be 2 seats.
Yes.
There'll be two open seats that election, whether Ken Tompkins decides to run for re-election or not. Though I think he has stated that he's not going to.
Yeah, he said that he wasn't. And at his age, 192, you should.
He probably
Let's
forgot.
go easy on the age. Let's go easy on the age.
Well, I see. How was your trip? Speaking of which, old people getting out in the world.
And you know what? It was relaxing. We went down to one of the Outer Bank Islands, but this one was off the coast of Georgia, and it was just absolutely lovely.
Well, it was funny because I tried to leave you alone after Mr. Spanbauer said after he announced, but I did have to message you about looking like the scientist from Jurassic Park, wearing his little sun hat and the.
I tell you, I was playing golf. That's right. That one day, my skin is so. I already am on a skin cancer regimen, so I just have to be really careful.
Yeah, I mean, you're the same color as paper, but I guess it's.
Well, actually, I might even be a little lighter. So I'm one of 2 colors, either white or red.
Yeah.
So Mr. Carroll, can we put you on the spot and ask you if we got any inside information on who the front runners are for that position?
I actually just put a press release out today, and hopefully the paper picks it up this week. Right now, I've spent a lot of time talking to other members of the committee, and we've come to an idea that we want to try and create as level a playing field for any Republican who lives in the city who wants to apply for it. And the first thing I'm asking them to do is to submit a letter of resume. I have got, shockingly, maybe not shockingly, I've gotten probably close to 30 phone calls from people interested. I've gotten to date 3 resumes, I believe it is, maybe 4.
Who do we submit that? How do we submit that resume for that, Bill?
Best way to get, you can mail it to me, but the best way to get it to me is my personal email address, which is William Carroll, Carroll, 1953 @gmail.com.
1953. Was that your first year of your car?
That's his 100th
Your first
birthday. That's his bicentennial birthday.
Sorry, buddy, had to do it.
That's why I didn't say 1953. I said 1953.
Bill, I just got to ask you this. It's something I've been thinking about. Now, in the last council election, we had 3 seats available, but as a Republican committee, we only put 2 candidates forward. And
I worked like a dog to get 3 candidates, and it was hard to do. This year, I'm preparing a little bit better. I don't know if I'm going to be committee chairman, in the next cycle.
Sure you are.
Well, my term runs out at the end of the summer, so
That's okay.
we'll wait and see. Wait and see. Now, if you were having my wife in the car with me, she would tell you that I'm not running, but it's a hard time. Oh. That would be the best part to what happened.
Well, we'll just tell Liz that we're going to get her another Florida or Georgia vacation out of it, so she'll push you to run for sure then.
Yeah, she loved it down there, I have to admit. It's funny, too, because that vacation showed me what Niagara Falls could do. I saw some pictures of some of the old part of the South Island, the south part of the island, which was years ago just like cottages and kind of ramshackled some houses.
Mm-hmm.
And people have come in and basically they bulldozed them, bought the properties, bulldozed them, and built beautiful homes down there. And the majority of the south end of the island is vacation rentals.
How did they?
Now they have
How did they handle their short-term rentals? Did you happen to look into it while you're there?
Yeah, I did. They have a tax structure that if you're not an owner-occupied property, you get tax level X, and if you're a short-term rental, it's tax level plus another number. There are some areas of the island that are not allowed short-term rentals.
Well,
So keep the integrity of the neighborhood.
That's not a bad policy. Did you happen to notice the cleanliness down there?
Yeah, it was interesting. I almost took a picture of one. Down around the beach, I was about 100 yards off the beach. You could see where kids had been down there, the night before, drinking, things like that. So you'd have beer cans and water bottles kind of in the woods. But the general streets themselves were clean.
Mm.
The roads and it's a very bicycle-driven island. Frankly, our bike lanes here are better than theirs, but they have sidewalks, throughout the whole island, and they encourage people to ride on the bikes. Golf carts are probably as common as automobiles.
Did you hear any gunshots, Bill?
No, I didn't see gunshots.
No gunshots. Damn it. We had them all here. We kept them
They were
all.
they were all over the place.
Yeah, we didn't let you have them. We kept them all here so you could have a break.
Yeah, there was
You're
a lot.
welcome.
I must be a sound sleeper because I don't even hear them. Occasionally, very rarely do we actually hear gunfire up at the north end, but it happens. I know it.
Well, we'll make some echo down through the gorge for you so you can hear them down there.
He hears right at 3:30 in the morning.
I'll tell you what. That gorge does echo. I remember when they were tearing down the high-level bridge over the railroad tracks from the Robert Moak.
Yep.
And you could hear that noise quite clearly at the end of my street, right up, along the riverbank.
That jackhammer seemed to echo right down through that gorge like it was sitting right beside you.
Yeah, you would have heard it in particular. Yeah, you're right. It was loud.
Well, I was recording the sunset or sunrise this morning, and I heard the train. And I usually hear the train and it's all the way across town. It's over by you, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah, it's in Devo.
It's that one train that runs.
7 o'clock.
That's the one that goes across the border. The Amtrak train that runs across the border there.
Yeah.
Oh, the Amtrak train? Oh, no, there's another train that runs into one of the plants that I hear periodically.
I hear one probably every morning at about 7, 8 o'clock.
That's the Amtrak, I think.
Yeah.
Is that the Maple Leaf?
Yep.
Or is that the one departing?
I think that's the one that's going into Canada.
We need to get that GO train. You need to keep working on getting that GO train here.
You do.
Tell you what, can you imagine if we could figure out a way to get people to use the GO train and be able to come across so that it's not a 2-hour lag from through Canadian customs and U.S. customs. I mean, that'd be phenomenal for the city.
It would.
Well, it's going to be.
Yeah, but the government of Canada won't allow it because it's Government of Ontario Transit. That's what GO means.
Yeah.
And it's a subsidized service for citizens of Canada. What we want to do is you can pick up the GO train in the Niagara Falls side, but you'd have to cross customs and immigration at one of the bridge points.
Yeah, but I mean, if they could work out some sort of a deal, even with the Amtrak trains, that it could be expedited. I just think the possibilities are exciting. Yeah. And if the GO train, if the GO train has to be subsidized to come over here, maybe that's something to talk about too. I mean, if you're extending the route, what, a mile?
Yeah.
Yeah, not even. Yeah, it's right.
Not even.
If you're just bringing them right across the bridge and going back, then yeah, it's not even a whole mile. It's right there. But I can understand it because it would be opening this area up to an entirely new market of people coming across easily.
Absolutely.
You know, and just leisurely coming over on a day trip to see the falls on our side would be amazing. Exposing our market to it.
I remember back when you guys were born, probably around 1990.
What the? Well, close. 1980. I was born in 79, but that was close enough.
My point was that there are a number of people that live in Niagara Falls or live in Niagara Falls, Lewiston, who work in Toronto. A friend of mine's a pilot with Air Canada, and he lives in Lewiston.
Well, I mean, and that's one thing about Niagara Falls that a lot of people don't understand is that there's a lot of professional people that live around here. They live around here. There's nothing inside the city that brings them here to work here. You know, and that's one of the topics we got tonight. We're going to be talking about the pros and cons of Amazon. But I figured out, like I asked you earlier, I wanted to see if you can lay it out real quick and give people a solid idea of the process that's
All right,
about.
basically, summarize it. Registered Republican living in the city of Niagara Falls.
Yep.
NOPs, if they're an NOP or another party, technically they're not eligible.
Mm-hmm.
I think the registration date is sometime prior to primary date, which would be June. I believe but don't hold me to that one. I just don't have resources to check it right now. But if they register, they still could, depending on when we get around to actually filling the position too.
Yeah.
And it's going to be quite a job because they're going to have to get caught up on things that are going now, plus work on this year's budget, as well as run a campaign. Because if this gets filled now, shortly here, then that seat's going to have to be up for election in November, unless they wait until after that deadline.
If the seat is filled, and we can't leave a vacancy on the council.
Right.
So
20 days.
It's a function of 30 days, and then the mayor has 20 days to make an appointment. But the thing is, I'm not going to rush John, as he kind of works through his health issues and makes a decision himself.
Yeah.
So, and he has worked so diligently to try and put forward impactful ideas.
Oh yeah, he has.
And he's well researched too.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I mean. He does the research. He explains his logic and his reasoning very, very well. And he's not afraid to, push other council members to look at their positions. I mean, he's done a very, very good job. I was blessed with the opportunity to, when he first approached me or I approached him about running, I was blessed that he said yes. And he has just been an honorable man.
Absolutely.
He'll go out and pick up. He called me one night. He goes, "Hey, I was just in front of your house." I said, "You won't lie. It was during the winter time. Somebody had called and told him that there was a Tops push cart down on one of the corners not far from my house." And I said, John, you could have called me. I would have gone and got it, thrown in my trunk, and take it back to Tops." He said, "I was out. They called me, so I went and did it."
Well, he's always driving around. That's one thing about John is he likes to drive around the city. He cruises around.
And he don't even live over by you. He lives clear over on the other side of town.
Yeah, that's just old people thing.
About as far away as I can be from him. So, but he did that. In fact, it was funny because I saw somebody post on his Facebook page, made some reference to him picking up carts, and he said, "I'll still be doing it." John is just it's funny. He was educated. Well, he spent a lot of his career at Niagara, and I think he epitomizes the epitome of the Niagara Creed in terms of the Vincentian mission, and I just have the greatest respect for him.
Very good, sir.
Well, Mr. Carroll, seeing that we've talked about John like he passed away,
he hasn't.
John is fine. He's fine. He's doing well.
Yes, he is.
He will still be around. You'll still see him.
You'll still see him.
Yeah.
We got to get you in here in one of these seats, Bill.
Yes.
We got to get you in here.
I'd love to come in. I apologize for tonight. One of the senior managers of the firm was in the office late this afternoon, and I just got hung up on an issue, and I knew I was going to be late, so That's why I texted you.
That's okay. And I said I left it open, like open invitation. It's day after Easter. I didn't really put any kind of thought into who I wanted to invite and whatnot. But you know, we'll get you in here very soon to sit down and have a hard talk about about Bill instead of politics.
I'm a boring guy.
Yeah, you are. You are.
I'm old. All right, guys.
All right. So
Appreciate the opportunity.
Take care,
Thank
Bill.
you.
We'll
thanks
see you
for calling in. Drive safely.
soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was nice.
Mr. Bill Carroll, chairman of the Republican City Committee.
Mm-hmm. Them old people. Bill,
He's
I,
good.
I like that he called in because I reached out to him and asked him. You know, there's a lot going on. People say whatever they want to say on Facebook. You know, they can talk about who could be appointed and whatnot. Let's get the actual.
And this goes out to all you registered Republicans in the city, too, from somebody that actually does sit on the city Republican committee. If you're interested in getting involved, you are more than welcome to reach out to myself or Bill Carroll himself. And we see about getting you involved in on the city Republican committee. We need to grow these people, need to start getting people interested in politics so we can start getting some of these people out that aren't doing anything. Get involved. Get up and get involved.
Yeah, and I mean, especially coming up, like we've said, we are going to start our own page, and we're not going to bring our politics to this, but
Slingshot and
you know, you're going to have to pop on over and check out what we're going to be. We're going to be definitely running together, like the dynamic duo. And then you got Batman over there. I'll be Robin, and then we got Mr. Peter Green back in the back room, and it's going to be like
he's going to have the toughest job in the world. He's got to make us look good.
the Riddler.
He's going to make us somehow look good.
He's gonna be Alfred. So classy, got that Canadian accent, and so well spoken.
He's going to be like that one TV commercial. We'll do the voiceover. All right. I think there we got some sound. All right,
There we go.
We are back. All right. Now,
And then you messed up the sound, and then the birds.
the people I've seen that live around where the site is going to be that they've chosen for the Amazon
You know, I
warehouse.
can mute you too.
They're already up in arms, and they're taking to the petitions and stuff to try. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they've actually put a temporary hold on that so that Amazon could address those concerns that those people have, which rightfully so. I applaud Amazon for doing that. But I mean, those people obviously need to be. Their concerns need to be addressed.
Yeah, I was watching the whole thing with Amazon, the Long Island, or was it the Long Island warehouse unionized.
They're unionizing it, yes.
And then they're going against the lawsuit because there was issues with it.
Yes.
Now, wasn't the Long Island warehouse the warehouse where AOC didn't want them to come, and it was supposed to bring 50,000 jobs and
She flip-flops so much.
And that's the weird thing to me, because now all of a sudden they want to unionize it. Here, in a lot of ways, you know, it depends on how the union works. If a union is good to get you where you got to be, make sure it's looking out for you, then yeah. But if it's just a slack-ass union that is not doing anything.
Well, I think we know my union stance. I'm very pro-union.
Well, yeah, you are. And I've worked for good unions and I've worked for bad unions. And I'm very in the middle. It's just the union is the same way that I look at lobbyists. It's the results that they get.
Yes.
You know, and if it's getting the results in the good rather than for themselves, they're doing good. When I worked at Appalachian State University, we were getting phenomenal union benefit. You know, our benefit looked out, or our unions looked out for us.
Right.
You know, prepaid legal services, medical, dental, 401k, stock options, stuff like that. You know, 2 classes a semester. When I came up here and started working at Niagara University, you're lucky to get a 10-cent raise a semester, and there was
And a
nothing
free
else
bag
with
of cookies.
There was no medical, no nothing like that. You know, so and in a lot of ways, the bad unions, you know, the bad ones because they're always defending the bad employees.
Yep.
You know, and the
Always
good
tell.
ones that get shitted on.
Well, you know somebody that treats their employees good. That guy over there at Sammy's Pizza.
Yeah.
over on
Yeah, can
Hyde
we run
Park
the commercial?
Boulevard. Yeah, let's
go ahead and run
see
that.
what Sammy's got to say.
And then we'll come back. Dine in. And welcome back. Yeah, that was I can't wait to go back to Sam. We're going to go back there.
We're gonna go back there in a couple next Wednesday,
What
right?
day was it? 27th?
27th.
27th, yes.
Yeah, week from this Wednesday, we're gonna be there.
That's one thing. And another thing we're going to be doing is next Monday, we're going to be coming in and we're going to have the interview with Mayor Diodati next weekend, or next Monday.
Mayor of Niagara Falls, Canada.
And I think that me and Peter are going to get out to the falls this week, and we're going to do something. We'll throw quick names on it. You know, talks at Tesla.
You know what you guys should do? Well, you know what we should have done? We should go find Dave, and we should line him up and give him birthday spankings, because isn't today Dave Florio's birthday?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. What? Peter, is David older than you? What is he now? He's like 71, isn't he? Oh, he should be getting his senior benefits here pretty quick. But looking for his free lunches.
I could totally see Dave pulling up to McDonald's trying to get discount coffee.
But we do want to wish Mr. David Florio a very happy birthday today. Didn't want to forget to sneak that one in there for you.
And anybody else that has a birthday for the next year, because to be honest with you, when I sit there and look at Facebook and it reminds me of somebody's birthday, I really was like, I don't need to know. Like, if it's cool.
From the guy that didn't want nothing said about his own birthday last Monday.
I'm not a big holiday person. And Melissa will tell you, I've never been. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, we celebrate things that are just like, we get all these holidays off for what? For what?
Hey, sometimes you need some of that time off. Sometimes you just need to relax. Now,
We can put them all together and take them all, like, give everybody 2 weeks off once a year.
I'm not talking, that you need 7 weeks or 14 weeks off by any means. Hell,
Melissa's about to get damn, let's think she goes out, May 17th she goes out, and she goes back in September.
Holy sh!
So she's out she only works 7 months out of the year.
Let me tell you, it was 7 weeks ago today when I got hit.
Yeah,
I haven't worked in 7 weeks, and I am going stir crazy. My one saving grace is I started going to the bank, getting a box of $500 worth of goddamn quarters, open them up, look for silver ones and special ones, roll them back up, and take them back to the bank.
Well, and then that's something to do, but you are definitely one of them people that
I am going.
Got to be out and about all the time. Car shows, Ohio, Florida.
I'm ready to get out and go do some
California,
fishing.
Texas.
I haven't been to Texas yet. I need to get
Let's
there.
go.
I'd like to go down to Texas. One of my oldest friends lives in Texas, and I've never met him. I met him on World of Warcraft. We've known each other since before Anthony was born, and I've never met him in person.
Well, I definitely
Internet's a strange thing.
Let's do a show on location in Texas.
Hell yeah. We get the studio to pay for that, right, Peter?
I'm sure.
You going to rent an RV for us, Peter? Is that in the budget?
Yeah.
Speaking of...
if it says modern on the side, just disregard it.
Well, I got some, I do have some news from the 716 Wolfpack. Obviously, my son's involved in that as well as myself and Mr. Barnes and everything. They did announce the other day that there's new owners that taking over Lancaster Speedway.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And they're changing the name of, I don't want to say what it is because I don't know I'm going to screw it up. But it is going to be operated under a different name now. But as far as I know, they're going to be continuing doing the same operations with the dirt track as well, or the circle track as well as the drag strip. So that's some good news that we're still going to have a racetrack around here for
nearby
the kids to be able to take that shit off the streets and get out on the track where it belongs. So that was good news.
I really think that they should. I think that a private company should open up one here. I really do. I think that they would have that. There's a good market to bring. NASCAR
you know what the
here.
problem with that is? It's just like with anything new and dangerous like that. There's too many lawyers in this state. Everybody wants to sue somebody. You sign a waiver.
Everything is
you
becoming
agree to do it at your own risk, and you get hurt, and then you still don't try and sue.
Did you see that they're trying to sue Elon Musk because they feel like he the way he didn't announce it messed up all the stocks and stuff like that, and they're trying to sue. That whole situation to me
Going after your hero, man.
Yeah, and you all got to stop that Twitter. Leave Elon alone.
You know, I got to tell you,
Leave me alone.
I saw a thing I was reading it on the internet the other day, and it's got to be true because it's on the internet.
Most definitely.
Cops pulled over an autonomous car, and the car took off from the cops. I was like, what? Even a damn autonomous car with no driver is taking off from the cops. They said it stopped, a half a mile or went up later. It's something to do with the safety concern. I'm like, even the damn autonomous cars are running from the cops now.
And it's going to get worse because them autonomous cars, they could definitely plan where they're going to go way before they get there. So
and you've seen the movies where they've got these cars that can change the lights so they get the flow going. Man, could you imagine if these sons of bitches are taking off from the cops and they're going and they're switching every light along the way. It's like, you can't bust them for all those tickets because they're all green.
Tesla just unveiled their new trucks, their new Tesla trucks.
That big wedge-looking thing?
Yeah.
I saw that.
Well, and I told my brother and Victor, like 2 years ago, y'all are going to be phased out. And
well, they've been working on semi-trucks
they've
being
been road testing them, but the thing is, and I think I seen, where was it at? Was it Detroit or was it somewhere in Ohio? They're getting ready to be, the entire city is getting ready to be smart roads. With all the road work that they're going on around here, that'd be a smart thing to do.
To lay the foundation for that stuff, for this technology to be able to be used.
Yeah.
I used to work for manufacturing facilities in Ohio, and we used to have to go to Marysville, Ohio.
Yeah.
If you ever get the chance to go there, if you can get a tour, it's Marysville, Ohio, the Honda plant there.
Yeah.
You want to see technology and its finest. These things, they've got these little forklift deals that go around and they haul that shit. You step in front of them, they stop, they don't hit you. They stop, they don't even swear at you. They just they stop and wait for you to get out of the way. But I mean, they have got everything down to a science there.
I shared the video the other day from when Tesla did their big Nerd Fest. And they do a whole walkthrough. They had a drone that flew through the whole. And it was set up with the company to where now it flies through all the time and it lets you see the thing. Their entire company is robotic.
So far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
So, and it sucks because it's jobs that are being lost, but at the same time, it's jobs that some people didn't want to do.
I was thinking about that yesterday, and I think in a lot of ways for us, here's the thing. The jobs are only necessary for fulfillment and to take care of your family, to create, money, and to have purpose.
Unless you want to be a government dependent.
Well, yeah, there's that too. But if you really think about it, we're going to get to the point where everything's going to be taken care of by robots. We should really start focusing on more of a utopian. It's going to happen.
It'll never happen, Sean.
No, well, you don't believe that at some point robots are going to completely take over?
Robots may completely take over, but robots will completely take over society, period. We humans will not exist because utopian society is not possible because somebody always gets jealous. It's human nature. They get jealous. They want what somebody else has without having to work for it.
Well, and we have that same thing, and that's the whole thing about war, and that's one thing that we always come back to. I mean, it's one thing we've always been consistent with is war. But what I'm saying is, as far as a lot of us use work as a means to feed our families. If we focused on, if we had got it to the point where robots were growing our crops to the point where we had more food than necessary, there was no world hunger, we wouldn't really necessarily need jobs. We'd be able to pull back and have family time again.
But then
and
the robots
educate
would
ourselves.
form a union and they would be
Listen,
like, hey,
that's-
this is bullshit. We're doing all the work. Why are we getting compensated for the work we're doing?
That's been known that's going to happen since the Matrix came out.
And then you're
And
going
we're
to
gonna
have
be
them organizing,
batteries.
saying they're slaves and they want rights, and then they're going to want reparations because they were designed for slaves. No, man.
Well, Patty's going to be like a AAA battery, and then me, you, and Peter are going to be like D-sized batteries, little fat batteries hanging out in the. But
I'm one of those lantern batteries. I'm a little bigger than a D-sized battery. I'm a lantern battery.
I am a 9-volt. I'm a 9-volt live wire. You put your tongue to me, it might, never mind.
Hey.
I got to make a correction. I said that
Uh-oh.
my friend VJ was hosting a Elevated Thoughts open mic, and then we were going back and forth, and I kept saying the Elk Club, and then I said it was the Power City. I was wrong on both.
Oh, my God.
It's
You're
going to be
fired.
Wednesday night at 6 p.m. at Hyde Park Cafe. Is the Elevated Thoughts open mic poetry, slam poetry. Really just if you got songs or whatever. Are you bringing us cookies? No. Why did I think that was food? Oh, Melissa better be cooking. Oh yeah, we got. Oh, look, we got some patties. Some little patties. And we got some Peters. And then
You
we
better
got
handle me with care.
Tim.
That's not a lantern battery, dude.
No, it's not. No.
We need a bigger one than that.
And
then
you
there
notice
was a
they're a
Sean.
segue. They're a segue into your next section. They're from Amazon.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah. So what do you think? You always get the horror stories of people being in the truck having to pee in bottles and stuff like that. Obviously, and I'm sure
That'd be the trucker toilet.
yeah, and that's a normal thing for anybody that's in logistics. It shouldn't be a surprise that you got to piss in a bottle like a normal trucker or a mailman or a mailwoman.
You know what I do when I'm out on the boat?
You make warm spots for the swimmers, huh?
I carry a 5-gallon bucket.
I mean, you're technically in the water.
Yeah, but that's
joking,
only
I'm
half
joking,
of
no.
it. That's only half of it, though.
You won't be doing that when you take me out.
Oh, yes, I will.
Oh, no, you won't.
You kind of have to. You should see the way they do it in the NFL. They hold up towels.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
I was watching that, too.
yeah, it's always an interesting thing.
Walks by and drops it in the garbage as it's going out. I'm like,
It
wow.
can't, you can't be that. I mean, you got to do something. But I think the jobs and the amount that they hire, the starting pay isn't too bad. It's better than some of the other jobs around here.
It is, and when they were saying something about we have the workforce around here that can do those jobs, they're right.
We do?
I think we do. I came from Ohio where it was a lot of factory jobs and warehouse jobs there. And I just, not that I'm a genius or anything, but it wasn't challenging. I wanted something different, which is why I went back to working on, vehicles and stuff like that. But, there's a job out there for everybody. You just got to go out there and want it.
Well, and the thing is that I have a friend that came over here as a student from Vietnam. And he came over and his major was logistics management. So that's basically he would have graduated from Niagara University and went to work as a manager of a company like Amazon. And a lot of people probably think that Amazon is going to do something kind of like Walmart does or what Golden Corral does when they go into a place. It
Run all
affects
the
a lot
locals
of
out.
yeah. And Golden Corral's been bad. I worked at Golden Corral. I remember when we used to go into like Lenore or Hickory or Boone, North Carolina, and open up a shop, and that would be the end of all the mom and pop shops that were not even competing with the breakfast. You go in there for $7. You get to eat whatever you want. You go to a mom and pop shop, it's $12.
It's $14 for dinner in Erie, Pennsylvania for the Golden Corral. I was just there.
Well, yeah, now because of the price of inflation. Well, back then it was,
It's my dad's favorite place to eat. They had one in Findlay, Ohio, and they closed it.
listen, I can't do it. It's just too much. There's been too many times where we've had to save some old person from getting green beans and some kid just snotted in, or it's just it's terrible. Like it's too easy to cross-contaminate. And they're like, they got sneeze guards. Well, little Jimmy's ass just spit all over the food because he's short of the damn sneeze guard. Or, you know, tell your kid to stop licking the pudding spoon, you know.
They'll be double dipping in the fondue thing, the chocolate fondue fountain.
That's a little off-putting that your kid is doing that. No, he needs to be off-putting.
Yeah, I've seen kids put their fingers in the chocolate fondue thing.
Yeah, I would see it all the time, or they would like.
But you know,
eat
we
a
used
piece of
to.
cake or cookie and put it back. You
I
got to throw
remember
the whole thing away.
When I first moved here to New York in 2001, Old Country Buffet was out here, and man, I'll tell you what.
Ooh, I heard.
It was the
greatest.
greatest. It was the greatest. I loved it because when you got kids that'll only eat certain stuff. My daughter, she loved pasta. She only eat spaghetti. My other daughter, she vegetarian. She wouldn't eat nothing but salads and shit. But they all liked the desserts. They loved that damn ice cream machine and everything else. Because it was nice. You could go in there.
As an adult,
everybody could eat different things, and they were all satisfied.
Here's the thing. As an adult or as a kid, you don't think about that shit. You're good with eating mud and worms.
Sure.
And
because your immune system can handle it and fight that shit up.
My 3-year-old, I wouldn't be surprised if he like. Never mind. We're gonna. Babies are still in diapers and they do weird, nasty shit. They don't think about the stuff. Now, I worked in a Golden Corral for about 4 years. All right. And maybe one day I'll have my friend Randy call up and talk about how I slapped a manager with a bag of hash browns. But working in that environment, because I went from one buffet-style restaurant in Golden Corral to actually implementing a buffet banquet-style restaurant with an Appalachian State University. The amount of cross-contamination, just based on the fact that people don't understand the danger zone concept of 40 to 140, and you got to get it out of them zones fast enough because that's when bacteria grows.
Yep.
That's that kind of place. And then they put it next to the fresh food. I can't eat like that.
It's tough when you're a chef to do that.
It is. I always think about the movie Waiting. Have you ever seen that movie where like they're scratching their head on people's food and he put some parsley,
tarantula. That's the best.
Famunda cheese and the parsley flakes freshly pulled. I love stuff like that. But speaking of jobs, Downtown Niagara Falls Business Association is hosting a job fair with our friend Roscoe over at the Trek Center. April 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock. And another thing I wanted to put out is we just kept getting, and this was Mr. Williams' fault. This is Mr. TJ's fault because we couldn't figure it out. And it was close because it was Titans taking over the Coliseum at Titans Cornhole Club April 30th for April Mayhem for the Nickel City Wrestling. And now that we got it down properly, he sent me an invite. I'll post it all on the page. And that might look like it's a good time. Tickets were $30 ringside.
It's a week from this Saturday.
Yeah, most definitely. Get out there and support. People that do that kind of stuff, they have a passion behind it. You're not going to find too many wrestlers that expect a paycheck out of that. They go there because they love doing it. And go encourage them.
I had other plans. I'm actually going to be at the Lay South Sportsman's Club that day for our gun raffle. We have our fundraiser gun raffle, meat and booze raffle, and guns.
Oh, that's a booze and guns.
Guns.
Ain't nothing like that. A bunch of rednecks with guns. And
Hey now. Those rednecks are going to save your life someday.
I didn't say anything bad about rednecks. Let's clarify. It's one of the best people I know.
You were a member of the board then, that club, buddy. So
hey, my best friend Jonathan is a country as cornbread. And that's a redneck dude, but he definitely is going to be on my zombie apocalypse team.
But yes, there are people that are out there selling tickets, including myself. If anybody's looking for a ticket to Lay South Sportsman's Club, it is open to the public.
What date?
That is April 30th, Saturday, April 30th. We'll be there from, I believe it's 1 to 5 at the Lay South Sportsman's Club out by the air base. Have good food out there. They got bars going to be there, obviously. Got basket raffles going on. It's a good time. Lots and lots of good people out there. Good old boys having fun. You don't want a gun, you can take a cash prize instead. Or you can have somebody come up to you and say, hey, I want to buy that gun, and they'll buy the gun from you. And
listen, I don't know how long you've been going to the grand raffles here.
I have long enough that I still haven't won a fucking gun yet. But I've paid for enough of them that I could have just bought them.
My grandmother and her boyfriend Big John. He used to call him Big John. I can't remember his last name. But, I mean, if you knew me, if you were around here back in them days, you'd definitely recognize a big old jolly guy. And they would come back with guns galore. I mean, they would go to these gun raffles, and him and my grandmother would win 2 or 3 of them.
Well, now you can't come home with a gun because you have to pass a background check.
Yeah.
They give you a card or certificate, and you can go pick up the gun once you clear your background check because we do things the legal, legitimate way.
Yeah, especially
the only gun that you don't need a background check done for in the state of New York, do you know what it is?
Probably a shotgun, muzzleloader.
Muzzleloader,
Yeah,
black powder.
Black powder, yeah. Which is weird because
The only one.
I remember it wasn't the first one. The first one I shot was a 30-06. The second one I shot was a 50 caliber black powder muzzleloader, and it was bad because the guy that
Loaded it
for me, he didn't push it all the way down. The round was like right at the edge.
Oh, that's not good.
So he took me down into a quarry and was like, "Hey, fire this off," and I'm thinking, "Oh yeah."
That guy didn't like you.
It separated my shoulder.
He didn't like
Dislocated
you
my
at
shoulder.
all.
Lucky it didn't blow up the barrel.
Whenever you want to go out, I've got a 50 and a 54 caliber muzzleloader, and I got a couple of them 30-06s too.
Yeah, I gotta teach Melissa. Melissa needs to know just in case I die.
Oh yeah, you ain't going nowhere. You still got too many people to piss off.
If
Going
something
back to
happens to me, just blame the Russians. Like, just start screaming it. I can
no
hear my
shit,
car,
no
like, "The
bitch,
damn
you died from
Russians!"
COVID. No, you died from COVID. I already got it figured out.
How sad is it that Gilbert Gottfried died? That's who I was trying to do the impression of earlier. And it came off like a shitty impression. I can't do it.
And the kids don't realize he was the voice of that parrot in
Iago.
Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iago.
Kids knew him, but
I had
didn't
to
really
explain
know
it to
him.
Jackson. Well, one of my favorite movies was what was it? Problem Child.
Your father's a moron.
Why? I wonder why it's Problem Child. Does that remind you of Jackson or what?
That's what. I always try to use that one of him and the little devil thing. It's terrible.
Going back to you talking about cooking and going to different restaurants and stuff, that's like me being a mechanic watching The Dukes of Hazzard or Knight Rider, any of those car movies. You watch them doing the jumps, and you're like, oh, as soon as that thing lands, that frame's toast.
Well, what we need to do is after we get this Roads to Summerfest thing taken out, we can start doing like investigative things, or you can take your car to a shop, and then we can be like, you already know what's wrong with it. And we're like, no, sir, you ain't got to get this out.
No, we're not doing that. No, we'll leave that to the professionals because that creates a lot of bad blood. And I got to live in this city. No thanks.
Oh yeah, that's true.
No.
We go do it in Buffalo.
Well, we could do it in Buffalo. I mean, that's just so that creates a lot of bad blood.
I like to come up with some different show ideas. But speaking of which, next Monday, like I said, we are going to do the pre-recorded the Mayor Diodati, and we're going to hop on out there and talk to some tourists, get tourist perspectives on Saturday. If anybody wants to stop down, we'll post a date when we get out there, time when we get out there. If the weather, I mean, it's snowing today. It could be a hurricane down by the falls on Saturday. Who knows? Then we are going to do our regular show on the 25th, which is Jackson's birthday. I think that's the Diodati one. We'll be at Sammy's that Wednesday, the 27th. And then, are we going to be doing All in Sons Pizza on the 2nd? You feel like going out there, Peter? Well, we're probably gonna be doing a live stream from my cousin's pizzeria. We'll make them give us some free food
and give some other people some free food too.
I'm coming for free food.
I tried to set it up to see if Steve and them would come out, but Steve's gonna be in New York City, so Mr. Burns is gonna be in New York City, but we're gonna have to get out to a couple car shows this summer, definitely.
Well, the little clown car's ready to go. Camaro's ready to go. Had them both out. I didn't give the clown car a bath yet, but I got around, put some miles on it.
I'm gonna use Jackson's skateboard.
You want to race?
I think
you probably have more horsepower than I do.
I was just telling Melissa that I need to go ahead and square all this up because I definitely got to be driving by summertime. I don't know what she's thinking, but the man has spoken. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't work like that in my household.
Yeah. The man has spoken, but nobody's there to listen. So.
Nobody gives a shit in my house. The kids look at me and like, yeah, okay, whatever, Dad. But
so where can people drop off if they want to donate some bubbles for Mr. Bubbles so kids can enjoy the bubbles downtown at 7th and Pine?
I mean, you can bring them right to the house. You know what I am looking for? I'm looking for plants. Plants. We're going to start doing, I really, really wanted to go ahead and get started on this Upcycle Niagara. the videos, but because of the weather, I've not went out in the yard to start setting any of that up. But
Plants,
hopefully-
we're looking for annuals, perennials. Oh, look at that. The fat, smart mechanic over there knows what an annual and a perennial is. Ooh.
You do gardening. Don't do that.
Bullshit.
We know you get outside and
Listen,
do
I
some
called
planting.
Kenny's wife, Mrs. Tompkins, and told her to come over and get the chlamydia off my fence. She laughed her ass off at me, and they still do to this day.
it's not called chlamydia.
That's what she said too, and I said, "You call whatever the hell you want, just make it disappear off my goddamn fence
As
in front
soon
of my
as you
house."
said chlamydia, I was like,
It's-
he's not even saying it right.
What did she said clematis.
Clematis, yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? You call whatever you want to call, just make it disappear off my fence. And she came over and she took, that shit grew back.
Yeah, it does. It grows back
I'm
quick.
like, what? I want to dig out all the
gave-
grass in my front yard and make it concrete, and I want to paint it green so it looks like grass. I ain't
She
got to
gave
mow it.
me a bunch of stuff, and it's out in the yard. And I'm waiting for it to all spring back up because I know there's a lot out there. But I'm gonna start doing the upcycle Niagara thing. So in May, whenever if anybody's got any plants that they want thinned out, doesn't matter, tulips, whatever, I come thin them out.
And we got neighborhood cleanup. Did you get that rescheduled?
Yes, for the 23rd, we're gonna go ahead and do it. And we'll
That's
do
Friday.
it from 10. It's Saturday.
Saturday the 23rd?
Yep. Monday is the 25th.
Okay.
So we'll say the 23rd. We'll get out there between 10 and 2. Then maybe me and Peter can skate over to the falls by 3.
And you got bags. I know somebody donated a bunch of garbage
Yeah.
bags for you, contractor bags.
You
and
brought me a bunch of bags. We got
There's,
those. I got them rakes.
I was looking at them yesterday. No,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't not yesterday. It was last Thursday before I left. I was
And-
looking at them.
And the thing about cleanup is that it's hand in hand. We can't say, we can talk about cleanup. We can talk about point out the different areas that need to be cleaned up and post pictures and actually
Get on
talk
Facebook
about
and
it.
bitch about it, but
Yeah,
get
but-
up off your ass and do something about it.
getting out and doing cleanup is a matter of not just modern, which I would like to see a committee group put together for the next modern contract to have community input. Because as far as I know, I don't even think the city even negotiates our contract with modern. I believe that's the town of Niagara or the county or whoever does their shit out there. But if the person doesn't live in Niagara Falls, they definitely can't express our needs for what the services are.
Doesn't quite seem right, does it?
No, I mean,
It
again,
almost seems like taxation without representation,
that's
doesn't it?
exactly what it is because there's not.
Representation
I got a
without
couch that's been
representation.
outside my house that's been out there for 3 weeks now.
I thought you were running a short-term rental. That was like the
And
welcome
I
couch.
keep looking out there every time they come by, and I see them just pull right by, and I'm like, you fat little shit, just get off your truck. Like,
Well,
it's
they don't
there.
even like to
It's-
clean up the mess that they leave behind your dumpster, do they?
Oh, and they never do. They never do. Whenever they come to dump the dumpster, it's all over the damn place. They gotta go down there and sweep up. But it's easy to sit here and nitpick on them kind of things. It is. I guess I could take care of the couch by setting it on fire.
Yeah.
But it technically needs to be cleaned up by modern because it's been sitting there.
It's their responsibility
It's
by the
literally.
contract.
I'm gonna put it right in front of the road next week.
How are what's the update on the Eleanor apartments? They get them opened up yet?
That,
See anybody in
I've
it?
seen they were putting signs up the other day. It looked like they were having trouble putting the sign up.
Oh,
So I think I think they're done.
yeah.
I think they're going to start taking the leases, accepting applications for it.
I was trying to see how many parking spots they had to see if it give me an
15.
idea. 15?
15
How many
parking
apartments
spots.
are in
Yeah.
there? 15?
I think that there is 10 apartments, 10 or 12. And I want to actually go and talk to Gary, it's the guy that owns the DoubleTree. I believe that's the same owner.
And did you see the big dinosaur downtown?
No.
There's a big dinosaur. It's called a crane. There's
Oh, yeah, I
actually
did. When I was
building going up. They're building another hotel down there.
Yeah, when I went and had my meeting, there was people messaging me saying they seen me out having a meeting the other day, and I was like, that's kind of weird because I didn't see you. Well, we seen you. What's going on? And I don't remember asking you
They
questions.
put down there where they're building that hotel. There's 3 short-term rentals I heard going right
Yeah.
behind it. They're already up and being worked on.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, and Niagara Street's all ripped up too. Niagara Street from the bridge all the way up until Portage or Jan Daly's ripped up.
I
So
hope they get that done before the tourism season kicks in.
I'm just glad to see it done. I really am.
Well,
I'm
they,
glad.
they redid that road a couple years ago,
Mhm.
and then they just tore it up when they took the medians out. Now they're tearing that thing apart from one
Yes.
side to the other and doing it. I hope it's being done right and that it will last for a
Yeah.
while and we're good to go with it.
And then they sit there and mess around with it and you have to redo it over and over again.
Uh-oh. This is a personal phone call.
All right.
You're on Niagara's Vox. Who's this?
Love you, Papa.
What are you doing? You're on the air. We're on a podcast right now. State your name for the record.
Your daughter.
Melissa.
Your daughter
What are you doing?
drinking.
Uh-oh. Okay, you know what? We're going to have this conversation off the air. I love you, and I will call you when we're done. Bye-bye. Yep, that's a conversation for off the air.
Yeah, it's always
Sorry
a fun.
about that.
It's always fun when they start out by "I'm drinking."
Oh, yeah.
But speaking of which, it is getting to the end of that
It's
hour.
going to be that time.
Um,
My quarters are calling me. I am such an interesting individual now with this leg being screwed up. I just have such a man. I don't know how I keep up with myself with this lifestyle. I've
you're
got
all
going
over
right
the
now.
place. That shit's wild to me that you're all over the place.
It's been a while since we've had just a show, just us to be
Yeah,
able to sit here.
it
And
gets to the end of it. It's
Kinda
like
nice.
I'm waiting for Peter to say,
Wrap it up, guys.
"Let's go." No, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
Well,
we're
we
gonna go
covered
ahead.
a lot of ground. I mean, we got to wish
yeah,
Steve a happy birthday.
It was pretty cool that Mr. Carroll called in because that was one thing that I was talking to him about. You know, and like I said, it was the other day when I went and spoke with him, and I wanted them to come on and clarify the process that was going on because I see a lot of things going around, and you know, it's really not that hard to message somebody that like
we
Bill.
even got to help out Mr. Deadpool. I was entertaining him while he was sitting in on his throne. He says,
Hey, Mr. Barnes. On that note,
"You're welcome, Steve."
have a wonderful week, Niagara
Everybody have a
Graffiti. I was
good
gonna say have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful week, everybody.
See y'all later.
Bye bye.